So I really enjoyed using Sony's Xperia 1 Mark II flagship smartphone, which offers a great selection of innovative features, but it does unfortunately come at a bowel-squeezingly high price. But despair you not if you don't happen to have a spare grand kicking about the place, because just 320 of your British pounds will buy you this more compact model, the Xperia 10 Mark II. You once again get tough water-resistant design, a slick OLED screen, impressive audio creds, and quite a few of those great Sony software features too. But this time you won't actually have to sell your firstborn in order to afford one. So I've been using this as my full-time smartphone, and here is my in-depth Sony Xperia 10 Mark II review. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, while the more premium flair and heft of the Xperia 1 Mark II has been somewhat slimmed back for this handset, the 10 Mark II still looks and feels really nice. It's a 6-inch smartphone like the original Xperia 10 from last year, and with that ultra slim 21:9 design, curving edging and super light 151-gram frame, it is definitely a pleasure to handle. I still definitely struggled to reach up towards the top end of that super tall display whenever I was playing with apps or whatever, but at least you've got Sony's excellent one-handed mode on hand to definitely help out. And this is also one of very few mid-range devices to offer full IP68 water and dust resistance as well for extra peace of mind. Like its bigger, more expensive sibling, the Xperia 10 Mark II is also slathered in Gorilla Glass 6 front and back, and so far it's proven tougher than a week-old mutton vindaloo. Besides a couple of the teeniest little scratches here on the back, there's absolutely no damage whatsoever, and that's after some pretty rough handling for my daughter as well as myself. But once again, the choice of colours ain't exactly thrilling. You've basically got black or white, and good luck finding that white version anywhere here in the UK because it just appears to be black all the way. And it looks very smart, but let's hope for some jazzier colours soon. Maybe something along the lines of those super snazzy old Xperia compacts. On the right edge of the Xperia 10 Mark II, you'll spy a fingerprint sensor just like on the flagship. And on this more affordable model, I actually found that scanner more responsive, possibly as it sits almost flush with the surface. But once again, like with that flagship, there is no face recognition on board here as an alternative. Now, one of the highlights of the Xperia 1 Mark II was that gorgeous 21:9 display, and the Xperia 10 Mark II doesn't feel like a big step down from it. You once again have a bezel-free OLED screen serving up the same stretched aspect ratio. And while it's slightly more compact here, and you don't get that super sharp 4K maximum resolution, this is definitely still one of the best mid-range panels for enjoying movies on the fly, just as long as you keep away from those boxy old telly shows which are squished right into the middle. Plus, of course, Sony always delivers a great audio experience on its Xperia smartphones as well. Once again, you've got that digital sound enhancement engine for making your old crappy MP3 tracks sound a bit more full-bodied, breathe a bit of life into them. You've got support for high-res audio, and if you like your Bluetooth, you've also got that gorgeous Sony LDAC support on there as well for nice, crisp, detailed sound. And if you prefer to go wired, then great news. There's a headphone jack slapped on the top for getting connectors, no stress. It's not a stereo speaker setup here on the Xperia 10 Mark II, sadly, unlike some rivals like the Moto G8 Plus, but that single mono speaker is at least firing forwards towards your face rather than downwards, so it's not easily muffled, which is probably just as well because it ain't the most powerful of smartphone speakers, and let's face it, they're generally pretty tinny to begin with. And it's great to see a similar software experience here on the cheaper Xperia 10 Mark II compared with that wallet-draining flagship. A lot of those great features from the Big Daddy Xperia 1 have jumped across, including the improved side sense and that fast and easy split screen mode. Only a few key bits have been culled from that flagship smartphone for the cheaper Xperia 10 Mark II, including unfortunately that always on display option, although at least you do still get a notifications light up top. And the only real software issue I had on the Xperia 10 Mark II was the slightly shonky navigation gestures. Occasionally it can take a couple of swipes to get that back gesture to work and the home gesture as well. Of course it's working perfectly now, but guaranteed as soon as I shut the camera off, it'll stop again. But apart from that, it's all gravy. Now, running the show is a Snapdragon 665, as found in a lot of affordable handsets like the Moto G8 Plus and the Redmi Note 8, backed by 4 gigs of RAM here. Now, it is worth noting that you do get a more capable Snapdragon 700 series chipset crammed into the likes of the Realme 6 Pro and the Redmi Note 9 Pro for a little bit less cash, but to be honest, I had no complaints with the 665 here in the Xperia 10 Mark II, which keeps everything running buttery smooth, even when you're multitasking or doing a bit of gaming. I smashed my way through a fair few Call of Duty games and didn't see any slowdown or stutters or notice any overheating either. That frame rate stayed high throughout, even with loads of action happening on screen. Speaking of which, the widescreen finish means you get a full view of the action up ahead, and if you've got a DualShock controller knocking around, then you can get that on the go too. Sadly, like that always on display, Sony's brilliant and further extended game enhancer tool has been culled for the Xperia 10 Mark II. So that means no notifications blocking, game recording, or that clever trickle charge action. But while that PlayStation Remote Play feature is supported on the Xperia 10 Mark II, for some crazy reason the DualShock controller won't actually work with it just yet, rendering it basically useless. Not good news if your telly is regularly hijacked by those irritating people who happen to live in the same house as you. Stupid family and they're stupid, we want to watch a bit of Disney, or please can we have some Netflix, or why isn't mummy coming back? And it's even better news on the battery front too, because the Sony Xperia 10 Mark II packs in a decent sized 3600 mAh cell, which is a big step up from the original Xperia 10's measly 2870 mAh effort, and it once again comes complete with adaptive charging tech to prolong the battery's lifespan. And while Sony's flagship can just about scrape through a really busy day on a full charge, maybe just about, the Xperia 10 Mark II will easily last you until you're all tucked up with Teddy, even if you're Skyping, playing with the camera, gaming, all kinds of stuff. And if you're literally just checking your emails and browsing the web occasionally, then it'll last you 2 full days, no sweat. And the storage is spot on as well, 128 gigs built into the phone, and you can expand that using a micro SD up to a further terabyte in size as well. So basically you've got bugger tons of space for everything you need. Now finally, let's take a look at the Xperia 10 Mark II's camera tech. And once again, it's a triple lens setup complete with a 12 megapixel primary lens, but here you get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and an 8 megapixel telephoto shooter. And this setup does a very respectable job of capturing natural colors and detail. Even when you're trying to shoot against a clear summer sky, you'll still get plenty of detail packed into every shot. Although when things do get seriously bright, the overall picture is often oversaturated, so those colours will look quite dull, and indoor shots can look rather soft as well, which is quite common for phones at this price point. And I did notice as well that in less than perfect lighting, the Xperia 10 Mark II could really take its time capturing each photo. I mean, sometimes that shutter was slower than a pot smoking sloth. The Xperia 10 Mark II's wide-angle lens can cope a little bit better with crazy light while offering a much broader view, ideal for those outdoor touristy snaps. And it can also capture colours with only a slightly warmer temperature, although detail levels do take a noticeable hit. As for that 52mm telephoto lens, well, unsurprisingly it can't match the excellent 70mm focal length on the Xperia 1 Mark II, but it is still good value for a mid-ranger. And again, this copes better than the primary lens on a sunshiny day and produces attractive results for a mid-ranger. But if you do try and pinch and zoom in any further, the results will get proper grainy. And while the Xperia 1 Mark II dealt with low light situations automatically, here on the Xperia 10 Mark II, you've actually got a dedicated night mode, which you have to switch to manually when things get a bit ambient. And this does help to brighten up those darker areas while also capturing a little bit more detail and boosting the colours a bit, but it's nothing revolutionary. And when it comes to a bit of home movie action, you can shoot video here on the Xperia 10 Mark II at up to 4K resolution in either the standard 16:9 aspect ratio or the more cinematic 21:9 as well, although sadly there is no Cinema Pro app available to add funky filters and effects like that. You've once again got to be careful as far as the lighting goes, but on that Ultra HD level you can capture some good looking footage to rival most other mid-range smartphones. Of course, you'll want to try and keep as still as possible, as the image stabilization isn't fantastic. You kind of feel like you're stuck in some sort of wobbly jelly at times. Things definitely improve on that front though if you drop to the full HD resolution, while audio capture is also fine whatever. Oh, and that 8 megapixel selfie cam is alright for your Insta posts, although it does really struggle with bright backgrounds, so those are definitely best avoided. So overall, I definitely enjoyed my time with the Sony Xperia 10 Mark II. It's obviously up against some pretty stiff competition at this sort of price point from the likes of the Realme 6 Pro and the Redmi Note 9 Pro, but if you're sold on that sleek Sony design and overall experience, you don't have all the cash in the world for the Xperia 1 Mark II, it's definitely a solid alternative. You got some proper good features stuffed away in there, you got excellent battery life, strong media chops as always. It's a good all-round experience and definitely solid value for money. So that's what I think after using this phone for about a week as my full-time personal handset. What do you think? Have you been using the Xperia 10 Mark II? It'd definitely be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're tempted by it, it'd be great to hear from you as well. And for more of the latest great tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers everyone, love you!